I'm about to take you on a ride, Light Warriors. Just like my father did for me. Oh, it's time. It's time for Desperado Plunge. I'm out here tonight in the light of Christ to teach all of you. God is not punishing you. This is what's really happening. Hello everyone, I am Michael and I help guide people on the evolutionary journey. It's time to go on Desperado Plunge. Do you want to go with me? Come take a little journey. Come on a ride with your Uncle Mike. Because tonight I'm going to teach you that God is not punishing you, but this is what's actually happening. You know, I go back in time to a beautiful moment I had with my father. And sometimes in life, when we don't understand why, God is putting us through terrifying stuff. God is putting us through the ringer. Why do we have to go through such scary times? And the answer is going to be Desperado Plunge. Yeah, baby. When I was younger, maybe, 10 years old, I was up in Lake George, and my parents and myself, we were on vacation. And there was an amusement park, and all day long, my father kept going to me, oh yeah, Desperado Plunge, you're coming on. And we're getting to the park, and now we're in the park, and he kept saying, Desperado Plunge. And I kept saying, I don't want to go on Desperado Plunge. I'm scared. Okay, and he says, "Nah, you're gonna go on Desperado Plunge with me." And he was so happy. He was so excited for me to go on this ride. It was a log flume ride, right? And you got to go wee. You got to go down. And I was younger, and I was scared. I was scared of it. I was like maybe 10 years old. But my father, being my father, it's where I get my sense of humor from, right? Oh, he's gonna love this one. He said, you're going on Desperado Plunge. And he would say it like that. He was saying it all day. And then we would get to the ride, and it was the whole day passed, and he kept saying it throughout the day that we were in the amusement park. And it came time, and he kept doing it, and he kept saying it. And I said, I don't want to go on it. And then finally, I said, all right. I went on Desperado Plunge, and I was shaking, and my dad was sitting next to me, and we went on a log flume ride, and we went on the ride, and then it was time for the hill at the end, and then we went down. And he asked me, did you have a good time? And I said, yeah, I liked it. And he goes, Desperado Plunge. So sometimes in life, we're scared. We're scared. Why do I have to go on? Why do I have to go through this? Why do I have to go through this scary time? And you might say to, God, why are you punishing me? Why do we have to go through the scary time? Just like any good father that wants to fine-tune his son, right? Get your son to push through fear. You're going to have a great time because you, the person that's getting this message, just like me and all of the royal family that's tuned in, okay? We're all creator beings, and God wants us to understand the power that we possess. So sometimes God is not actually punishing us. God is putting us on the ride of our life. And when we go on this ride, all right, sometimes in life, I've had my life stripped apart two times, baby, right? And when I went through this, it gave me an opportunity to become the creator. I could be still doing the same thing in the same cycle, and have the same a boring job, and and do this and then retire, as the humans call it. And instead of that, my life was bashed apart several times, and God gave me an opportunity. God gave me an opportunity to fine-tune my creator being skills. And you're getting this message right now, and I'm here to tell you, all of a sudden your life starts falling apart. You say, why is my life falling apart? Because God is taking you on desperado plunge. Sometimes, what you had in mind, it's not really for your soul. And you could have so much fun in your everyday life when you finally let go. And you finally go on a log flume ride, and you go on a plunge. And, as I reflect on my life, I'm so grateful to God for doing it. Just like I was grateful for my dad taking me on desperado plunge. It was a lot of fun. Wasn't it fun, son? So if you're getting this message right now, and you could say, what? Why is God doing this to me? God's not punishing you. God is doing this instead. God is fine-tuning you. God is giving you the opportunity that you have to realize that we are the children of God. We are the sons and daughters of God. Heck, the days of the great solar flash are the days that the sons and daughters of God will rejoice, because you have the ability with this new energy to create. And you might look at the world, and it was not a place really for creative expression, but the world has changed, and it's going to continue to change. And now in these new energies, you have a new opportunity. It's scary, okay? And we say, God, why are you punishing? Why you got to make me go on a scary ride for? But it's a ride of a lifetime, baby. And I could be out here tonight in the light of Christ and tell the world, I'm grateful that God put me on Desperado's plunge. All right, I was plunged into it, and sometimes in our life we have to get plunged into it. And always on my journey, that's where I actually shined the best. All right, sometimes in life they say, oh, you can, you have this rule book, or this is how you're supposed to do it. All right, let your Uncle Mike tell you, the only way that you truthfully learn is boots on the ground, through first-hand experience, through our everyday lives. This is how God teaches us. And God isn't really punishing us. God is giving us the opportunity. For greatness. And just like, I said, my father is antagonizing me with Desperado's plunge, and I don't want to go on this plunge, and you're scared, right? So each and every one of us, God fine-tunes us. God puts us through these things, not as punishment, but this is so that we could build a kingdom. And now, over the course of my life, because I experienced, twice my life being stripped apart, and I'm grateful for it, because I kept fine-tuning my skills. And now I can teach the world. Sometimes, you go out in the world, and then you come back, and you come back to the people with the cure. You come back to the people with the invention. You come back to the people with something new. You bring back to the people a brand new timeline, a brand new reality. But we will never do this. We will never do this because you're scared. You got to push through this. And I've been sharing this there's so many people that don't experience life truthfully because they're scared. You're scared. You're scared of that relationship. You're scared of going after your dream. But in order to do these things, you are going to have to go through scary events in your life. And heck, if you have big dreams, you might have to have many of them. Heck, you might have to cross a bridge. You might have to cross the bridge of incidents. I'm out here today to tell you that God is not punishing you. God is preparing you. God is freeing you. It's so free. Well, once you go through it, once you go down a log flume, once you take the dip, once you take the plunge, baby, you want to take the plunge with me? Why don't you click the like button and click the subscribe button and take the journey of our everyday lives. If you want to take the journey, all right, and you got to take the plunge. And then once you go through it, you say, wow, what a ride I had. What a ride I had. I can reflect back on my life, and God gave me blessings. You could look at your life and you say, heck, you lost this job. You lost millions of dollars was taken away from you. Oh, you lost this, you lost that. You might have even lost your health, all right? And these are the things on our journey. We took a plunge. I just recently remembered this. I'm out here today I'm wired a little differently. The community knows that. I'm out here in the cold today, and I could easily, conveniently do this in the warm, warm, cozy studios of Our Everyday Lives. But I'm out here on the front line delivering the message, because you got to feel it. You got to go through it. And when you say to yourself, you know what? I have to feel certain things. And I tell my dad, I says, this is how the memory bank comes back. I says, we are plunging 40 degrees. It's like the desperado plunge. And I remembered it. You see how focused I can remember things when I was a boy. How's your focus? All right. How's your clarity? All right. If you want to improve your health and wellness, you could click subscribe, and you get to take the journey. All right. We're going to decalcify that pineal gland. We're going to be focused. We're going to see with crystal clear clarity. All right. And I want you to really think about that. How's your memory? Are you remembering these things? Are you functioning? And I could go back, and you see how sharp I could go back, and I can remember childhood, and I can remember these things. And these are the true gifts of life. This is why, our people, we have to really remember. We have to hold our memory banks. So I remember all the things that my dad did for me when I was a boy. And that was an important lesson. All right, the rite of passage, if you will. In this example, it's just going on a log flume ride. It's having fun. But you might be scared. You don't want to go on the plunge. I don't want to go on that. I don't want to do this. I don't want to have my life stripped apart. But then you come back as the king because you were able to do it yourself. You see, the things that I've built in my life, nobody can ever take them away from me, because I did it myself. And God is going to prune your life. God is going to prune things that aren't going with you, because now you're the captain of your ship, and now you are creating. But you'll never flip the mode, bro. You'll never flip the mode, sis. You'll never go from that NPC bot that's just like a robot going through the day, so you can realize that you're a creator. You see, this is how God is teaching you. This is how God teaches all of us, that we're actually creators, and we're not actually being punished during this process. It's not a punishment to go on a log flume ride. You got to get antagonized by your dad. You say you're going to go through it, right? You got to go on the plunge. You got to go through Desperado's plunge, right? If this resonates with you, why don't you write in the comments, I'm ready to take Desperado plunge. Are you ready for Desperado plunge? I took the plunge when I was a boy. And now I get all this. These are the important things. They're so important, I can reflect back. When I was a public school teacher, I was a father figure for people that really didn't have good parenting at home. And I hope everyone that hears this message today, I appreciate if you share it out. Let's get millions of people to hear it. Because, great parenting, the great subconscious programs, the things that push us through, well, God actually does this for us. And the training wheels come off. And now it's time. And now it's time to go on the ride. Now you're old enough to go on the ride, right? You maybe couldn't go on a ride when you were, 6 years old, but now you're 10 years old, and now you're going to go on Desperado's plunge with your father. And he was so happy, he was so excited, right? Because he could go, you got to listen to this. He could go on a ride by himself. But isn't it so much greater when you go on a ride with someone else? Isn't it so much better? When you go on a ride and you say, oh, my son fought through the fear, right? And look at him go. So that's what God is doing for all of us. God is not punishing you, but God is refining you. God is getting you to perform at your finest in inopportune conditions. The will beats the skill. That's what we need. And this is the journey. And this message that you get today, and I hope everyone leaves a comment, take the plunge, because this is truthfully how it goes. But you can't hold on. You can't hold on to the past any longer, okay? You're graduating. You're ready to take the plunge. And God is not actually punishing you. God is refining you. God is getting you out of the comfort zone. And it's not a punishment. It's not a punishment to go on a ride, because if you signed up for this experience in Earth School, right, you're here, right, and you have your God-like abilities. Do you have a personal relationship with God? You have the same abilities as the energy of Christ goes through your DNA receptors, right? So if you're disconnected, if you're watching, the TV all day long, you're scrolling, You're scrolling on social media. Again, you could go on the internet. It's a tool. And I've said this for years. Are you scrolling or are you rolling? You see, I was rolling, and now I built a whole life for me out here. All right, and you could do the same thing, and that's because I went on Desperado Plunge. All right, so when we track it all the way back. Okay, there's Anthony taking his son on the ride, and it was one of the greatest things. I'm grateful for my father. I'm grateful for these things. You got to get out of the comfort zone, and I hope that this message helps you understand that God is not punishing you. You're ready to level up. And so it is. If you find this message interesting and you would like to learn more about our reality in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, why don't you click subscribe, give the video a like so it becomes visible to more people, and please share with one other person, because when we all share with one other person, we will rapidly grow the kingdom of heaven on earth. That's the answer, kid. I told you, you have to fight through the fear. It is the only way. You want to have something new in your life. There's going to come a moment in time. You're going to have to cross a bridge of incidents. You're going to have these catastrophic, scary moments in your life. But you're just going on a ride, kid. You're just going on Desperado's Plunge. Heck, Light Warriors, we got to do the big ending. This was the journey of self-discovery and remembering. Oh yeah, baby. Remember who you are. Remember the power that you possess. And remember, we cannot control what is around us. However, we can control from within. Be conscious that it's time to take Desperado Plunge. Use this to raise your vibration and increase your electromagnetism. Life is so much better when we are all together. If you find this message inspiring or know someone that could benefit from it, please share this message. Dear ones, I am Michael. Find us in the 5th dimension. Have a wonderful day living your everyday life. God is not punishing you. And these energies could be tough, but it's getting us to be refined. It's a refinement process. You're on the threshing floor, and you're being refined, and something much greater is going to come out of this. I love each and every one of you. Keep going, kid.